Rant alert! Saints choke versus the Falcons. Can New Orleans recover? Ladies and gentlemen, this is After Further Review with Matt Moscona. Now, after the Falcons game, we came on here and I said, I have a sneaky suspicion that a lot of other channels are going to go on these hot take rants. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, was I correct. So we're going to watch an example of that, see how this goes, and then I will, of course, kind of contextualize what's actually happening throughout the season, or what we've seen so far throughout the NFL season. Before we begin, I want to give you a question because we're going to talk about a lot of numbers. We're going to talk about a lot of percentages. We're going to talk about a lot of analytics. And I've been talking about that all week, and there's been a bit of a divide, I would say. Some people say stats don't matter. Some people say the analytics don't matter. All they care about is what's on the field. I think a really good way to think about it is if your team is marching down the field and your quarterback throws a pass directly to the linebacker, linebacker has two hands on it, the ball goes through the linebacker's hands into the receiver's hands for a touchdown, the game-winning touchdown, and I asked you, was that a good throw? If you're results-based, you would say, yeah, it was a good throw because it got us a touchdown. But if you remove the noise and you remove the bias, you would chart that as, no, that was a bad throw. Right? It was a bad throw, good result. It's not good result, thus good throw. It can be bad throw, good result. Okay? So just because the result is bad doesn't inherently mean it was a bad performance. It's just like a good result doesn't mean a good performance. Okay? Something to think about as we go into this video. Stay tuned. At the end of the video, we're going to talk about a live stream I'm going to do for the Saints-Chiefs Monday Night Football game. We're going to do giveaways during that. Right now, I'm planning on giving away a jersey of the viewer's choice and a couple of hats or something. So we'll figure it out. But it's a 10,000 subscriber celebration along with Chiefs-Saints live stream. So I'll be live streaming the entire game. But again, stay tuned to the end. We'll talk about it a little more. Let's get into it.
Where to begin?
Drop the pen. Not happy.
Like, if you watch the NFL, I'm not patronizing. Like, I don't need to tell you this. You know this. Like, the margin in the NFL is so slim. The margin between winning and losing. I mean, the average margin in the NFL is about a field goal.
Yep, true.
So
field goal is the most likely landing spot. 3 points is the most likely landing spot or the most common landing spot in an NFL game. A team wins by 3 more than any other number out there.
Yes, Dennis Allen is right. You can't spot an opponent 14 points.
Yeah.
And the fact that you were close to winning that game in spite of that says some good things.
True. That is true.
However, you are what you are. Like, there's no ambiguity in the NFL. You are.
Ooh, now see that part. Hold on.
Are what your record says you are. You either have an ability to close games or you don't.
Okay, well then I'll ask you this. The Baltimore Ravens are 2-2. The Denver Broncos are 2-2. There is a marked difference between those two teams, true or false? So I understand the sentiment, but it is 100% not true. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 3-1. The Baltimore Ravens are 2-2. Who do you think is the better team? The answer is the Baltimore Ravens. Okay. So to an extent, yes. And I will, the extent of that is that at the end of the year, you are what you are. At the end of the year, once the full body of work is done, you look back and it is what it is. If a team, if you once you get eliminated, all of this, all the analytics, all the data, all the whatever, you can throw it out the window because the season's over. Like it played out how it plays out. All right. But right now, 100% a team is not who their record is. That's crazy.
Y'all, what happened on Sunday with the New Orleans Saints, I'm not sure that everyone has fully grasped how improbable that scenario is.
Yeah, I think it's only the second time it's happened since like 1983.
You might have seen the stat by now. Our guy Ross Jackson had it over at LouisianaSports.net. on Sunday, your New Orleans Saints,
The boys.
became just the third team in the history of the National Football League to score at least 24 points, not allow an offensive touchdown, and lose. By the way, one of the other three was the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, that's going to be the 1983 team.
In 1983.
Yeah, I just said
so. 2 of the 3 in NFL history,
yes,
belong to your Saints.
Yes.
I mean, that is a masterclass in incompetence.
Well, now see, I didn't think you were going to say that word. I thought you were going to say it's an unfortunate situation. And I was going to say that actually, if you quantify it, I guess, the odds of Derek Carr's interception return for a touchdown is probably pretty similar. So like the odds of that happening, the odds of scoring 24 points and not giving up an offensive touchdown and lose it. Or the odds of Rashid Shaheed muffing that punt. Something that he never does. If he catches, if he gets 100 punts, does that play happen again? Is that 1 in 100 kind of? Is that a 1% type situation?
Do something that in the history of this league has only been done 2 other times. To snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yes.
Where y'all want to begin? How about?
I'll let him begin. It's his show. It's his. I mean, guys, it's his show.
Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah.
Great player, man. Deep threat extraordinaire. Potent weapon. Why you failing to punt at the 1-yard line?
Man, I feel like I'm listening to 1998 sports radio right here. A little screaming, yelling at me. You gotta love it. Why did
Christ
he try and
almighty.
Crazy. Well, let's not bring the big man into this.
Are you really trying to fair catch a punt inside the 5?
He was doing it down at the 2. Insanity.
Remember playing Park League football at Kenilworth. Go Chiefs. Freaking coaches told you when you're 5 years old, put your heels on the 10. Don't field it inside. You muffle punt at the 1-yard line? The hell away from it.
The real blast from the past, ladies and gentlemen.
Derek Carr's pick 6. Oh, I've seen the hand waving on that. Oh, he was unlucky. I've watched the play from every angle 100 times. One of the least self-aware moments you can imagine from a guy who's been an NFL quarterback for a decade. They have a screen pass set up for Chris Olave. Carr recognizes it's covered, so he pump fakes. It draws the defender, and then he's going to go throw it.
He's trying to throw it away.
Forward to Olave, but here comes Matthew Judon.
No, he's trying to throw it away. He's trying to throw it forward, throw it away. Just get the ball, get rid of the ball. Can't put it at Judon's feet. Where do you get rid of it? He's trying to just throw it around Judon, spike the ball, be done with it. Goes off of Judon, glances off of Judon directly up, end over end. We've seen that a million times. What happens? Defensive lineman doesn't catch it. They all jump up for it. It all falls down. An offensive lineman catches it. Sometimes the quarterback catches it. We've seen Lamar Jackson do that a million times. In this situation, it hits off Judon, glances up off of him, end over end. Only person there, Atlanta linebacker, boom, catches it, marches, 40 yards into the end zone.
And Carr thinks he's going to Patrick Mahomes it, sidearm it around Matthew Judon. It gets tipped, pick 6 the other way.
Yeah, real bad.
Know when to give up on a play. It's year 11, Derek Carr. Christ almighty, what are you doing?
He was throwing it away.
Y'all want to talk about the 2-minute offense?
Okay, let's talk about this. Let's give a little context. So let's give a little context of what we're saying, okay? The best ever 2-2 teams by DVOA. Okay, we all know what DVOA is by now. Ever in the history of the NFL, Matthias just mentioned how unlikely it is for us to lose the game we lost in the history of the NFL. Well, how about this? In the history of the NFL, the New Orleans Saints have the highest DVOA, which, if you want to think about a power ranking, have the highest power ranking, the fourth highest ever in the history of the NFL by a team that's 2-2. Currently, second place, the Baltimore Ravens, the team we talked about earlier. This is crazy. Crazy. The two highest power rated teams that are 2-2 since 2003. Over 20 years ago. That's how good the Saints have been. Look at what these other teams have done. Lost the conference championship game, lost the Super Bowl, lost division, didn't make the playoffs this one with the Chargers, lost divisional, lost conference championship, lost conference championship. Jets didn't make the playoffs in 93, lost wild card, lost divisional, lost conference championship game. Look at this. This is nuts, okay? So, again, you aren't exactly what your record is at this level. Okay, let's keep going. This is the objective power ranking. This is a market-derived teams tier list. So what this is, it's like the betting market / power rankings, totally taking bias out of it, and where you like what the team power rating is. Right now, the Saints are the 8th best team in the NFL according to this. Now, is this perfect science? No. Like, is everything that I'm saying exactly it? No, of course not. But they're 8. Okay, think about that. What about this? Saints defensive line sucks. Where's the pressure? Currently, heading into this week, the Saints are 4th in most pressures in the NFL. Tied for 4th. Excuse me. 1 behind the Buccaneers for 3rd. What about this? Play calling. This is after last week. Klint Kubiak, back to number 1. This is the personnel and market efficiency with team constraints list. And this is your offensive play callers through week 4. How good has Cliff Kingsbury and the Commanders been? He ain't Klint Kubiak. Okay. What about another one? DVOA ranking. We just talked about DVOA. Right now, the New Orleans Saints are the number 3 team in the NFL by total DVOA. Use that to contextualize how the team is played. Okay. Because I'm seeing a whole lot of screaming, crying, slobbering all over your keyboards. But I have a sneaky feeling that's not happening with the Ravens. Even though we're playing at the same level as the Ravens. Even though we have the same record as the Ravens. Nobody's saying to bench Lamar Jackson for Jake Haener. No one is saying that maybe John Harbaugh has lost his fastball. No one's talking about how the Ravens lost to the Raiders. The Ravens were up 10 in the 4th quarter at home against the Raiders. They probably had like a 96% win share. Losing that game is total incompetency. Don't look at me like that, Matthew. You want to know why no one is saying those things, ladies and gentlemen? Because the Ravens just waxed that ass against Buffalo on primetime television. So the last thing everyone saw was the Ravens are sweet. So that's it, right? The Ravens are sweet. They've seen it. It is what it is. They don't care about the Raiders game. They don't care about blowing a game where they had a 95% win share at home against the Raiders. They don't care about that. They don't care about an 0-2 start. They don't care about that. The Saints are the opposite situation. Everything across the board is the exact same. Power ranking, EPA, DVOA, best team, 2-2 team. We saw the numbers. But what did the Saints just do? They just lost. What did they do the week before? They lost. They flipped what the Ravens did. Saints won the first 2 games. Ravens lost the last 2 games. Saints lost the last 2 games. Ravens won the last 2 games. And you can see what the narrative is doing. You can see what people are doing. Do you think Baltimore has any rant alert videos out there right now? No, because they just won. But the Saints, they just lost, so now we have rant alerts. You think there was a rant alert in week 3 after Baltimore lost to the Raiders? No. Why? Because they said it's a long season. You lose games, it is what it is. Yeah, we shouldn't have dropped this one, but we're looking at what we're doing here. We're looking at the numbers. We're looking at the efficiency levels. Everything's fine. And that's where I just think, like, if the numbers were worse, if these numbers were way worse, and I showed another stat that I had, and this is my Twitter, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not following, what are you even doing? Go check it out. But I retweeted this. This is the defensive coverages. So we're top 5. Okay, think about this. For everyone that wants to fire Dennis Allen, we're top 5 in pressures in the NFL, and we're 3rd in passing defense. You can see the EPA over here on the right. The EPA, the top is green is good, red is bad. Right now, the Vikings have been the best secondary than the Bears, than the Broncos, and the Saints. So we're top 5 in pressures. We're top 5 in passing defense. Pretty good for a defense, I would say. Offensive efficiency, number 5, New Orleans Saints. Okay. Defensive efficiency, number 5, New Orleans Saints. Baltimore's 19 in defense efficiency. All right. If we were 2-2 and we were 23rd in offensive efficiency and 19th in defensive efficiency, I wouldn't be saying all this. Because the numbers wouldn't back it up. Every single metric we have seen, literally everyone, offensive, defensive, pass coverage, pressures, quarterback play, offensive play calling, defensive play calling. I don't think Blake Grupe, what's Blake Grupe's, has he missed a field goal? I mean, we're talking about every metric you can possibly find is off the charts positive. Now, with that context, don't you think it's a little ridiculous that we're going through rant videos and we're going through screaming 1999 shock jock Howard Stern-esque radio? Isn't this a little much? Isn't this a little heavy? Isn't this a little on the nose? I mean, I understand the whole, like, I need to see it on the field. Okay. Well, then those same people need to go ahead and get on in the comments below and tell me how they would describe the Baltimore Ravens, where they power rank them. Because as of right now, we have seen on the field the exact same product from Baltimore that we have from New Orleans. Yet one fan base or one whatever is they're Super Bowl contenders, they're the best team in the AFC. The other one is fire the head coach, trade the quarterback.
Let's do that.
What, fire the coach?
That'd be about as fun as punching in the nuts.
Whoa, Matthias.
Guess what? It's a 3-point game. You get the ball. What do we talk about all the time? End of the first half, start of the second, get a chance to go back to back. Even 2 field goals get you the lead.
Oh, wait. Are you going to talk about not kicking it?
2-minute offense included a penalty on your first-round left tackle, who apparently doesn't even know how to line up. You try to throw a sideline route to your tight end, who is standing out of bounds.
That was old Juwan. Yeah, that was horrible from Juwan Johnson, standing out of bounds. That would definitely be a negative EPA play right there, standing out of bounds.
There is not a defender within 10 yards of Juwan Johnson, and both feet are out of bounds.
Not good from Juwan.
Nobody's near him. You have a third down play where Derek Carr is going to take a shot over the middle to Rashid Shaheed, and he leaves the pass about 10 yards short. Why? Because he wouldn't step into the throw because he had pressure coming in his face. It's always been the knock on Derek Carr. You pressure him, he'll get happy feet.
Jesus. That was a crazy
atrocious.
Pause.
Absolutely atrocious.
Absolutely disgusting. I cannot believe this team, top 5 in offense, top 5 defense, 3rd power rated team in DVOA, and the 4th best 2-2 team in the history of the NFL.
Paulson Adebo. How about another PI? Everybody gets a PI. You get a PI. You get a PI. You get a PI when Adebo's on you.
take a look here real quick. I know I saw this earlier from my boy Benjamin Solak. I love the context. I love the context. And Benjamin has been doing some tweeting. Jesus. Let's see. I saw Ben. Here we go. I don't think you can say enough about the cornerback room in New Orleans. Marshawn Lattimore, Paulson Adebo, and Alontae Taylor were tight to every route and disruptive at the catch point. Crazy how consistently quality the Saints cornerback play has been under Allen. Now, we also know that they're top 5 in the NFL so far. So, but let's get back to the cut Paulson Adebo talk.
30-yard penalty ultimately loses you the game. Look, I know some of y'all have said, oh, but Matt, did you even look at the injury report? Hell yeah, I looked at the injury report. Down 2 starting offensive linemen. You lose Taysom Hill after the first half.
Taysom Hill.
Demario Davis doesn't play for an injury for the first time in his 13-year career. You lose Willie Gay. You lose Tyrann Mathieu during the game. Oh, I looked at it. Hell yeah, I did. And if the New Orleans Saints had lost that game because you would have told me, man, Shane Lemieux, Lucas Patrick, you're missing McCoy and Ruiz. The middle of that Falcons defense, Grady Jarrett, David Onyemata, they just wrecked those guys all day. Landon Young just couldn't hang. If that had been the reality, I could have said, I get it, man. Look, you had a practice squad center you called up. Landon Young, who's a tackles playing guard. It's just a really tough draw. I get it. If that had happened. If you told me, man, look, no Demario Davis, Willie Gay gets hurt, Tyrann Mathieu gets hurt, and you go, man, look, the defense, they just couldn't handle all those personnel losses, so it was just a rough day. None of that happened!
Yeah,
your defense didn't allow a touchdown!
That's good.
Your defense didn't allow a touchdown!
That's a positive.
Alvin Kamara ran for 80 yards on the day.
That's a good thing. That's a positive.
Your offense moved the football.
That's good.
If you had told me that Derek Carr was sacked 5 times and you ran it for 37 yards because your offensive line was a sieve, like that's one thing. You put him over. You put up 366 yards of offense. You ran 131 yards for an average of 4 a carry.
Matt, you're screaming about good things. Why are you
yelling
at me?
You lost this game because of your gross incompetence. Because you fumbled the ball at the 1.
Who's gross incompetence? You just laid out the offensive line played well, the Derek Carr played well, the Alvin Kamara played well, the defense played well. Who's gross incompetence? I'm confused. Who? I don't understand. We got to go to the board. Matt, you just said Derek Carr played well. You said the defense played well. You said the offensive line played well. You said Chris Olave played well. You said everyone played well, but then you said that it was gross incompetence. Who was incompetent?
You muffed a punt at the 1 yard line. Your quarterback threw an inexplicable pick 6.
So the gross I'm getting confused. Is the gross incompetence Derek Carr is incompetent, or Rashid Shaheed is incompetent, or was it 1% interception, 1% muff punt? Because if the gross incompetence is all we got to do is tell Rashid Shaheed, hey man, don't muff punts at the 1, and all we got to do is tell Derek Carr, hey man, don't throw pick 6s on the 30-yard line. Don't deflect off of linebackers' arms up into the air. If that's all we got to do, that seems fixable. Those seem like I'd much rather those be the problems than our offensive line not be good or our defense not be good. Or those seem like really quick fixes.
Your situational awareness at the end of the first half was atrocious. The inability to run a 2-minute offense when you had plays there. Juwan Johnson was open on the sideline. Rashid Shaheed was open over the middle. This is incompetence. And that all goes back to coaching. Effort, discipline, how to win awareness, self-awareness, all of that.
Okay, now this is where the context matters. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, Imagine telling, okay, so what Matt is trying to say is that the coaching has failed the players. Thus, the players' performance has suffered mightily. But, and this is a Meg the Stallion-sized but, how can that be true if all of the metrics have the Saints as a really good team? Because it seems like if the coaching was failing the players and not allowing the players to be efficient, then the metrics wouldn't be good. So we're in a bit of a pickle now. Oh, I can hear it already. I can hear the comments. I can hear people typing away. Wins are the only stat that matters. Okay. Again, to those people, once you quit slobbering all over your keyboards, how do you feel about the Baltimore Ravens? Because I guarantee you, those same people are going to say, well, the Ravens are sweet. Why? I thought wins is all that matters. Jesus, Matt, relax. You're terrifying me with those eyes. Christ. If wins is all that matters, then how can you think the Ravens are sweet and the Saints are terrible? Is it because you just saw the Ravens win and the Saints lose, and all you do is knee-jerk react off of the last week and don't put it in context or thought into what you're actually watching?
This is how you get mired in mediocrity. This is how you live in a perpetual state of 8-9, 9-8, 7-10. This is how.
Currently, the state of mediocrity. The current state of mediocrity includes top 5 EPA offense, top 5 EPA defense, top 5 most pressures a game on the defensive line, top 5 secondary, 4th best team at 2-2 in the history of the NFL as long as DVOA has been around. Oh, and the number 3 rated team on DVOA in the NFL. Oh, and the number 1 rated play caller in the NFL. That is your current picture of mediocrity. Damn. Sign me up. Damn. Mediocre sounds pretty cool. Mediocre sounds sweet. I bet every team in the NFL would like to be mired in mediocrity if that included basically top 5 across the board in every single thing.
You cannot establish consistency. Why are great teams great? Consistency. The Saints do not have it.
Yeah, a consistent team like the Ravens would never blow a 10-point lead at home against a team like the Raiders. Wouldn't happen. They're too good, too consistent, too well coached. I mean, think about it. A team like the Ravens would never have a tight end with his foot out of bounds on a potential game-winning touchdown because the Ravens have good coaches. That would never happen to a Ravens tight end. Like the Saints, like Juwan Johnson, him standing out of bounds makes sense. Dennis Allen failed him. Dennis Allen forced him to be out of bounds. But like, guys, could y'all even imagine for 1 second? Could y'all even imagine the Ravens like having a tight end? Like, I'm just going to make something up. Imagine like a Ravens tight end. Like, how likely would this be? Pun intended. God, I'm on a different level. How likely would this be? Like, try and picture it. Like, primetime game, Ravens goal. Let's say on the goal line. Down a score, touchdown wins it. Could you imagine like a Ravens tight end having their foot on the line in that situation? I sure as hell can't. Their coaching's too good. No way. That would be insane.
Man. And we've done this now, and this is the problem. That every year we have this conversation.
Wrong. Every year we don't have this conversation. Every year you have this conversation because all you look at is the wins and losses. Every year we don't have the conversation of us being top 5 this, top 5 that, top 5 this, top 5 that, top 5 this. We don't have that conversation. This is the new conversation. But because everyone likes to trauma bond and everyone likes to rant, because of that, anytime something bad happens, we go right back to same old Saints. Saints suck. Woe is me. Saints are bad. So, no, this is in actually no way, shape, or form the same conversation. You can certainly frame it as the same conversation, which people do, no doubt. But I would frame it as a totally different conversation.
Last year, I sat here after you lost to Green Bay, and I told you that's the one that's going to bite you in the ass. That's the one, the first week in January, when you miss the playoffs by a game, we're going to look back and say you gagged that one away. 2 years ago, the Saints lost a home game to the Giants where you were up 2 scores with under 8 minutes to play, and you let Daniel Jones come back and beat you. And I told you then, that's the one that's going to bite you in the ass. That's the one when you're home for the playoffs, you miss it by a game, you're going to look back and say, how did we lose that one? And I'm telling you right now, dollars to donuts, you can bet this is the one we're going to talk about whenever the Saints miss the playoffs again this season for a 4th consecutive year, and you look back, they lose the division by a game, miss a wild card, however it's going to go, we're going to look back and go, man, you went to Atlanta shorthanded, didn't allow an offensive touchdown, scored 24 and lost that game. This is going to be the one that we look back, and this is the one that is a swift kick in the gonads. This one.
I would say if we lose to Tampa at home, if we lose to Atlanta at home, if we drop a game to Carolina, if we drop a game to the Giants or the Raiders or the Broncos, those will probably be the games. Since we weren't supposed to win this game. And since we were dogs in this game. And it was on the road. And it's a divisional game. So, yeah, obviously you want to win games. Obviously losing a game is never good. But we're 2-2. So, you know, I don't think comparing this season to last season or this season to 2 years ago is really worth much at all.
And think about what you lost on Sunday. Think about what you lost. I get it, you're 2-2. Season's not over. You're 2-2. But win this game. We talked about it on Friday. Win this game. You're 3-1.
Yeah. Atlanta's 1-3. It's a huge opportunity. Look, again, I'm not happy we lost the game either. And yeah, it would have put us in an absolutely fantastic position. For sure. But we're 2-2. Season's not over. Huge opportunity missed? Yes. No doubt. No one is arguing that. No one is sitting here saying that wins don't matter, losses don't matter. I'm not saying any of that. That all is true. What I'm saying is that this idea that is the same old, this idea that it is the retread, that Klint Kubiak is Pete Carmichael, that Dennis Allen can't have his players ready to roll, that this kind of stuff doesn't happen to good teams. I'm saying all of that is incredibly lazy takes when you look at the metrics and look at the context.
You're 2-0 in the division. You have a head-to-head against Atlanta, and you bury them at 1-3. Lose, now you're 2-2. You're tied with Atlanta. They have the head-to-head over you. And, oh, by the way, Tampa won, so now you're trailing Tampa as well.
All right, someone do the quick math for me. What happens if Atlanta beats Tampa this week, we lose to the Chiefs, and then we beat Tampa? What happens then? All of a sudden, all these like 2 games behind, 3 games behind, 1 game behind, whatever, it's like it all just kind of balances itself out, right? What would Atlanta be at that point? Atlanta would be, well, it depends on what they would do that week, but if we beat Tampa in that situation I just said, Tampa loses to Atlanta, then everyone's even Steven, right? At that point, everyone's chill. Pretty damn close. Again, it depends on what happens the rest of that week. But like it's a fluid season. You know, like it's a very fluid situation. Next man up, next game up. We're 2-2. Newsflash, we're probably going to lose 4 or 5 more games. We lose 4 more games, we're 11-6. See you in the playoffs. You know? So, yeah, sucks we didn't beat Atlanta. It would have been one hell of a situation. But the good news is, we got 13 more games.
Atlanta, shorthanded, you miss it by a game, you're going to look back.
Oh,
they
man,
lose the division by a game, miss a wild card. That is a swift kick in the gonads.
Not back to the Nads.
You're tied with Atlanta. They have the head-to-head over you. And, oh, by the way, Tampa won, so now you're trailing Tampa as well. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. I shouldn't be surprised. Because this is what this team has been now for 3 years with Dennis Allen. This is what they are.
No, Matthew. They have not been a top 5 team offensively and defensively. They have not been a top 5 team generating pressures. They have not been a top 5 secondary. They have not been the 4th best 2-2 team in the history of the NFL. They have not been a top 3 team on DVOA. Have they been 2-2? Yeah. But context matters.
Oh, there's going to be wins that make you think they've turned the corner, they figured it out. But then they do this. It's their inability to find and establish consistency. Be it offense, defense, special teams, whatever it may be.
Well, except for establishing the consistency that has made them top 5 in all those metrics. Besides that.
This is their bugaboo, and this is who they are and who they're going to continue to be.
True. Good teams do not do things like this. Good teams do not start 2-2. Good teams do not blow big leads at home to teams that they should beat. No doubt. I can't think of a single other good team. Definitely not this season. Definitely not literally right now. I cannot think of a single other good team that would start the season 2-2 with a horribly blown loss. Can't think of one. If y'all can think of one, let me know. But I can't think of another team that could do that.
Man. I know a lot of people are talking about the 4th and goal with about 4 minutes to go, going on it, passing on the field goal. That's one instance where I actually agree.
Yeah, you definitely don't kick there.
With passing on the field goal.
Yeah. Play call wasn't great. But
there's 4 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah.
You need a touchdown. So, you're down 6. You could kick the field goal and make it 3, but there's no guarantee you're getting the ball back. They could go into a 4-minute offense. You could never touch it again. So I actually don't hate the decision to go for it.
Yeah, we've already confirmed that was the correct decision.
On that 4th down. And plus, if you don't get it, now you buried them, which happened. And then they tried to bleed timeouts and run clock. You got a short field, and you ended up scoring, as we know, with a minute left in the game. So I didn't hate that decision. Now, in the second quarter, even the third quarter, I'm saying take the points right there. There's a lot of game left. But in that situation, I didn't hate the decision. I actually agree with the decision there to go for it on 4th down. But it don't matter. Results what it is. Saints lose, and now you got to turn around and go to Kansas City on Monday Night Football. And unless you can find a way to beat the Chiefs, which are the picture of consistency in the NFL, despite not playing their best and losing Rashee Rice yesterday, they're 4-0. Unless you can figure out a way to beat them on their home field, you're going to drop to 2-3, and you will have as close to a must-win at home the following week against Tampa as you could possibly imagine.
It will be a must-win. Okay, he mentioned the Chiefs game. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be live streaming Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, the entire game. Be there. Watch the game with the boy. I'll be live streaming it every single second of the game, every play, whatever. I won't be showing the game. That would be an NFL copyright strike, and I don't want that to happen. No doubt. 10,000 subscribers. Hit it this week. Unbelievable number. Thank you so much, everyone, for the support. To show my support, I will be, like I said, giving away items at halftime of the Chiefs game. We're going to do some kind of randomizer. More than likely, you'll have to type something into the chat to get put into the randomizer, and then I'll just randomize 3 winners. Right now, I'm planning on giving away a jersey of the winner's choice. Can be whatever team, whatever player, however you want to do it. A jersey and 2 sideline edition Saints hats. Those are the ones with the circle and the rope. So that is the current plan. I'll be giving those away at halftime. You will have to be present in the chat on the stream to win. But that's the current plan. So be very exciting. All right, cool. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Good video. Thank you, me. Thank you, everyone, for supporting. 10,000 subs is awesome. Next stop, 100,000. Why not? We'll see you in the next video.